This is Bear Alpha, a horror game on Roblox, and on November 12th, 2023, this game shadow dropped 4 of the biggest secret tokens in the game's history. Now, the thing with tokens in this game is that in order to obtain them, you must solve a secret quest with not much information to help you out. Many people take these quests and the tokens they reward for granted, as they can easily be obtained through the use of tutorials on the internet. However, for those who are actually trying to figure these secrets out on their own, without the use of tutorials, these quests can be really difficult. Hello, I'm Cheddarballs, and I was lucky enough to be in a search party for these tokens when they first released. I wanted to share with you my experiences hunting down these tokens, as well as how it took us nearly 5 hours just to find them all. With all of that out of the way, let's begin. Alright, so the thing with these tokens is that players must obtain them in a certain order. For example, you need the red one in order to get the brown one, and you need the black one in order to get the purple one. The first token which was discovered was the red one, and it was found pretty easily. In order to obtain it, you must go to the old lobby Easter egg and click on the red button on the computer there. After doing this, you would be teleported to an obstacle course, and completing all 4 areas would reward you with the token. Like I had stated, obtaining this token isn't that hard, and it also wasn't too difficult to find. Now, I would like to mention that it is unknown, at least to me, who the first person was to discover this token. I found out how to get it as somebody mentioned it in the Bear Company server, and the other members in the search party I was in weren't the first to find it. However, this isn't too big of a deal, as in the end everyone managed to get this token. Moving on, the next token we were looking for was the brown one. We were pretty stumped on how to obtain this one at first, however, we did have one person who might lend us some help. Lido, who's the member in the Bear Company server, was the first person ever to obtain this token, and although they wouldn't say exactly how to get it, they did give us some hints. Using their help, we eventually narrowed it down to talking to each of the lore-important NPCs in the game while we owned the red token, and that seemed to do the trick. We found out that in order to obtain the brown token, we must first get the red token, then talk to the Lagoon NPC, which is this blue spike ball guy. If you do this, you'll be shown a cutscene and be rewarded the brown token. However, that was the end of our smooth sailing, as from here on out things would get a lot harder. I had previously stated that in order to get the purple token, you had to have had the black token, so obviously our next step was to actually obtain the black token. However, that was more easier said than done, as we had very little to work with. You see, when these tokens were first added to the game, a new NPC appeared in the lobby. If you gave this NPC a specific code, they would teleport you to the location where you could obtain the black token. However, we received one hint on what this elusive code was, and that was that it was located somewhere red. Naturally, we went to the reddest map in the entire game, that being System Crypt, and in that map we discovered one of the strangest new additions we ever saw. Near the survivor spawn in that map, you could find a tiny, dancing NPC with a waffle fading in and out next to it. My dear viewers, this is the only hint we had at finding the code for the black token, and as you may guess, figuring it out based on this and nothing else would be really hard. In fact, most of the time spent finding all these tokens was spent figuring out what this meant. Our first assumption about this waffle NPC was that maybe we needed to do something in order for it to trigger and give us the code. We tried dancing next to it, we tried typing keywords such as waffle next to it, heck, we even tried to just click it multiple times, but nothing seemed to work. However, then we got a lead. Someone in the Bear Company server had stated how a waffle could spawn in the System Crypt map, which is the same map where this NPC was, and judging by how there is a waffle next to the NPC, both waffles could be related. With this in mind, everyone in our search party immediately started looking for where this waffle could spawn, and we came up with some pretty elaborate techniques. Our main method was for someone to stand in a secret room in the map, as that was where supposedly the waffle would spawn, while everyone else just did puzzles in order to reduce the timer. However, nothing seemed to work. In the end, we discovered the person who said a waffle could spawn in this map was simply lying to us. We were back to square one, and we had already spent around 4 or 5 hours looking for the black token. At this time, I had to leave the search party, and although I wasn't able to help, others in the group managed to figure it out. Alright, so something you may not know is that an inside joke in the Bear Company server is the phrase, "Dance in the dojo until the waffle appears." This phrase was a large inspiration for the Dojo High School map in Bear Star, and almost everybody in the search party knew this dancing NPC in System Crypt was also a reference to this phrase. Nobody ever thought of using that phrase as the code for the NPC in the lobby, as it seemed too obvious. We all just assumed the NPC in System Crypt was a reference to that and nothing more. However, one member, Bacon Post, nearly 5 hours after the start of the search for this token, attempted to use that phrase as the code, and it worked. After so long, after so many hours of searching, it was finally figured out how to obtain the black token, and it was as simple as just saying a joke phrase to an NPC. Anyways, by giving this code to the NPC in the lobby, you would be teleported to an obstacle course, and by completing it, you would receive the black token. Now that this was figured out, we were able to obtain the last token which was added in this update, that being the purple one. Now, I was asleep when this token was discovered. However, there are some key details I know about how it was found. For one, after obtaining the black token, you could receive a hint on how to get the purple one. This hint was simply the word fish. You could type this word in a panel in the Yorik's resting place map to access a secret room, and in this room is a button that, when pressed, gives you your final hint on how to get the purple token. Now, what I find quite interesting is that this secret room and the code to access it was discovered prior to the discovery of the black token, which wasn't intended. Anyways, the hint you received from this button was very weird. The same message would just play over and over again, and looking back at how you would actually obtain the purple token, this hint had almost nothing to do with it. I'm still not sure how players managed to figure out how to obtain the purple token through the use of this hint, and if I had to guess, I believe that the process of finding this token was the same one used for the brown token, where players would just talk to all of the lore important NPCs to see if they had anything new to say. Anyways, eventually players were able to figure out how to get the purple token. All you had to do was go back to Lagoon, the same NPC you had to talk to for the brown token, and instead of talking to him, you had to go down a newly opened path nearby him and talk to a new character, Shadow Lagoon, whilst having the black token. After doing this, he would give you the purple token. Finally, after doing all of that, you would have all 4 tokens added in this update. Overall, although the process of figuring out how to complete these quests was lengthy, it was still pretty fun, and I'm excited for more secret quests to come to Bear Alpha in the future. I wanted to give you all more insight on the process on how these tokens were discovered, and who knows, maybe I'll do more videos like this one. With all of that being said, thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.